Hello everyone. So this is Gaurav back again. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So this is the fourth video of RegEx series. I hope that you have seen the previous videos. No? Okay, so in that case I'll give you the link in the description below. Just go and have a watch. If yes, then you are great. Okay, so in the previous video you have already started our hands-on session, right? I hope that you have enjoyed that video. So similarly, this video is also going to be very interesting. In this video also you will see about few more symbols. We will see like how to use them in order to write a regular expression. And one more thing, at the end of this video I have something interesting for you. Yes, I'll give you one challenge. Okay, so now without wasting any further time, let's go ahead and jump right in. So from the previous video, we have already started our hands-on session, right? I hope that you have enjoyed the previous video. That is regular expression, the basic set part 1. This video will be all about regular expression, the basic set part 2. Similarly, this video is going to be very interesting. In this video, we'll learn about few more symbols with examples. Now let's see today's agenda. Okay, so in the previous video, we have already learned about asterisk, right, with example. So let's recap it very quickly. It represents 0 or more occurrences of the character that precedes this asterisk. In the last video I have shown you one example, right, with a star or a asterisk. That's mean 0 or multiple occurrences of a, right? So I can say it is done, right? So first symbol is done. Now in this video we'll learn about next two symbols, that is dot or period and backslash s. I will show you with examples like how to use those symbols in order to write a regular expression from a given input dataset. Okay, so at the end of this video there is some interesting thing for you. That is, I'll give you one challenge. Yes, I'll give you one input dataset for you. Now it will be your job. You have to come up with regular expression pattern for that input dataset based on the requirement. And I'll give you the answer to that challenge in the next video. Okay, so now without wasting any further time, let's go ahead and jump right in. Now let's talk about the second example. In this example, we will talk about dot or period symbol from basic set in RegEx. Now let's have some input dataset first. Okay, so according to the step 1, we have to first understand the requirement, right? That's mean what data need to be included and what data need to be excluded. So the strings are having green tick on the left are the string that you want to include. And the strings are having red cross on the left are the string that you want to exclude. Okay, so I can say step 1 is done, right? Like we have understood the requirement. Now let's talk about step 2. In step 2, we have to identify a pattern from this input dataset, either from inclusion list or from exclusion list. Inclusion list means what? Inclusion list means the strings that you want to include. This one and this one. And exclusion list means the strings that you want to exclude. Okay. Now let's identify a pattern. So you can pause the video right now. You can just try it out from your side. I hope that you will come up with some pattern. After that, we will try it out together. Okay, so I hope that you found some kind of pattern from this input dataset, right? Okay, now let's try it out together. So just observe carefully. You can see like the strings that you want to include are having green tick on the left are started with something called mo. You can see here, here also, here. But wait, it is not the pattern because this and this, these two are also started with mo, right? Right. Now if you can see here, it ends with ner, right? Here also same, here also same, but here also same. That means it is not also our pattern. So with mo and ner, we cannot come up with any kind of pattern. Now let's look at what is there in between mo and ner. So here you can see, here we are having a single character, right? Here we are having X, here we are having G, but here we are having double X. That's mean what is there inside mo and ner are something which is unpredictable, dynamic, we cannot predict it, right? But one thing, have you observed, like number of occurrences are predictable? Like here we are having single occurrence, here also we are having single occurrence, here also we are having single occurrence. But what about this? Here we are having double occurrence, or I can say multiple occurrence. That's mean we don't know about character, right? But the occurrence is fixed, and that is single occurrence. Okay, so now I can say we have identified some kind of pattern from this input dataset, right? Now let's see that. Yes, this is our pattern. It starts with mo, ends with ner, and in between these two we are having a single occurrence or a single character, I can say, right? A, X and G. Okay, so according to this, step 2 also is done. Now let's talk about step 3. In step 3, we have to represent this pattern with the help of regular expression so that we can apply it on this input dataset, right? Now let's see the meaning of dot or period symbol. Okay, so dot is nothing but a wildcard, right? It represents any single character. Now any single characters mean it can be alphabets or it can be other digit also or any special character. But the number should be same, that is single character, right? According to our criteria, it is satisfying. See here. Here also we are having a single character in between mo and ner. So according to dot symbol, it represents any single character, but what character we don't know. So if we use dot, that's mean we are allowing only single character. Now it's not like any alphabets, it could be other character as well. Okay, so now we have understood the meaning of dot, right? Now let's try to represent this pattern with the help of regular expression using this symbol. Okay, so this is our pattern, you can see. Now we have successfully represented this pattern with the help of regular expression. Now there should not be any gap in between these two, but just to show you, I have provided some line between these two. Okay, so now final regular expression is this one. Mo, then dot or period, then ner. That's mean in between mo and ner we can allow any single character. It could be A, it could be X, G, Z, anything, right? So now let's do the step 4. So for that, first I will use Linux RegEx engine, then I will use regex101.com. Now let's do that first. As you can see, right now I am in Linux terminal. I have stored the input dataset in a file called input2.txt. Let me show you the content first. Yes, so this is our input dataset, right? This is our input dataset. Now you will apply some regular expression pattern on the top of this input dataset. Now in order to use Linux RegEx engine to apply our regular expression pattern on the top of this input dataset, we have to write a command called grep, then space, then we will write our regular expression pattern in quotation, that is mo, then dot, then ner, then again space, then we have to mention the file name where we are having our input dataset, and that is input2.txt. Press enter. Yes, now we can see this is our desired output, right? Now we can see using dot, it is only allowing a single character between mo and ner, like A, X and G. Yes, so basically it is working, right? Excellent. Now if you don't have Linux, no problem. For you, I will be using regex101.com. There I will show you how this regex pattern is basically working on the top of this input dataset in order to get this desired output. Now let's see that first. Okay, so just in browser write regex101.com. press enter. Here it is. So here we'll write our input dataset, and here we'll write our pattern, that is regular expression pattern. Here we can switch our regex engine. So for now I'll use JavaScript regex engine. Now let me copy our input dataset over here. Yes, so this is our input dataset, right? Now let me write the pattern, and the pattern was mo, then dot, then nar. So you can see according to this pattern which we have applied on the top of this input dataset, there are 3 matches, this one, and this one. So according to this pattern, these 3 strings are valid strings, others are invalid. You also can observe like this dot or period, it is only allowing a single character in between mo and nar, and that is A, X and G. It's very interesting, right? Now let's see the third example. Now let's look at the third example. In this example, we will talk about \s symbol. Now let's have some input dataset. So according to step 1, we have to first understand the requirement, like what data need to be included and what data need to be excluded. So you can see the strings are having green tick on the left are the strings that we want to include, and the strings are having red cross on the left are the strings that we want to exclude. Okay, so step 1 is done. Now in step 2, we have to identify some kind of pattern, either from inclusion list or from exclusion list. Inclusion list means are the strings that we want to include, right? And exclusion list means the strings that we want to exclude. Okay, now let's try to find it out some kind of pattern from this input dataset. Okay, right now you can pause the video, you can try this from your side. After that we will try it out together. Okay, so I hope that you came up with some kind of pattern from this input dataset. Now let's try it out together. So you can see like all the strings are started with something called mo and ended with something called nar, right? So with mo and nar we cannot come up with any kind of pattern, right? Now let's look at what is there in between mo and nar. You can see like the strings are having green tick on the left are having white spaces. You can see here, you can see we can consider it as no space or 0 space. But the strings are having red cross on the left are having some kind of other character other than white space. Here we have something called po, here we have AAA, here we have X, right? So in the first string we have single white space. Here we have 3 white spaces, here we have 4 white spaces, and at the end here we have 0 or no white space. Okay, so we have made our observation from this input dataset based on the requirement, right? Now let's see our pattern. Yes, so we can see like I have divided this into 3 parts, where first and last these 2 parts are fixed, and in between these 2 like this part is dynamic, like, or I can say unpredictable. Now if I write white space here, you cannot see this, right? It is not visible to you, which is why I have written in the number form, like we have 4, 3, 1 and 0 space, right? Okay, so in order to satisfying our criteria, let's look at the symbol that we have in regex in basic set, that is \s. It represents single white space. Hold on, it represents single white space. But in our cases, we are having only one case where we are having single white space, right? This one, the first one you can see. But here we are having multiple white space, 0 or more white spaces, right? So how to do that? So in the previous video, I already told you about star, right? That is asterisk. It means it represents 0 or more occurrences of the character that precedes this asterisk. Now let's try to combine both the symbol together. So if we say like backslash star, then it represents 0 or more white spaces, right? So here 0 white space, 2 more white spaces. So with that, now it is satisfying our criteria, right? Now let's try to implement our pattern using regex with the symbol which is available now, right? So here is our regex pattern, that is a step 3. We have successfully represented our regular expression pattern, that is mo, then nar, and in between these two we have backslash s star, means it allows 0 or more occurrences of white spaces, right? So here we have our final regex pattern. Now in step 4 we have to use some kind of regex engine in order to use this pattern on the top of the input dataset in order to get our desired output. Let's see that. So first I will use Linux regex engine, then I will use regex101.com. Let's see that. Okay, so right now I am a Linux terminal. I have stored the input dataset in a file called input3.txt. Let me show you the content first. Okay, so this is our dataset, right? This is our input dataset. Now in order to apply our regex pattern using Linux regex engine on the top of this input dataset, we have to apply a command, that is grep. Then space, then within quote we have to write our regex pattern. What was our pattern? It was mo, then backslash s, then star, then nar. Okay, then again space, we have to mention the file name, like where we have our input dataset, and that is input3.txt. Press enter. Yes, so you can see this is our desired output, right? Okay, so it is working, right? Excellent. So you can see here, like using this backslash s and star, it allows 0 or multiple occurrences of white spaces. So according to this pattern, these 4 strings are valid strings, right? Now I will do the same using regex101.com. Let's see that. Okay, so first open regex101.com. Here it is. Okay, so here I will write our input dataset, right? Let me copy our input dataset. Yes, now I'll use a JavaScript regex engine. Okay, so here I'll write our regular expression pattern, and that is mo, then backslash s, then star, then nar. Okay, so here we can see based on this expression there are total 4 matches. This one, this one, this one, and this one, right? So here also, because of this backslash a star, it is allowing basically 0 or multiple occurrences of white spaces. You can see, right? So that's mean this and these 4 strings are valid from this input dataset, and other are invalid. Great. Okay, I hope that you have understood. Now it's time for a small challenge for you. Let's see that. Okay, so here is your first challenge. In this challenge, I'll provide you an input dataset, and I'll tell you about step 1. That is, I'll tell you about the requirement, like what data need to be included and what data need to be excluded. And then from that you have to come up with some kind of pattern. That is step 2. Then you have to represent that pattern using regular expression or regex. That is step 3. And at the end, you have to use some kind of regex engine in order to apply that pattern on the top of the input dataset so as to get desired output, and that is step 4. Okay, so let's see the input dataset first. Yes, so from here you have to come up with some kind of pattern. Okay, so far we have learned about 3 symbols, right? That is star, then dot, then backslash s, right? Now it's your job. You have to think like how to use them in order to write this regular expression. Now you have to think like what combination that you have to take from those symbol. Okay, so it is not that difficult, but yes, bit tricky, and I hope that you will come up with some kind of pattern. And don't forget to write that pattern in the comment section. And if you are not able to solve this, no problem. In the next video, I will first discuss about this challenge. Then we will solve it together. Okay, so that's all for this video. I hope that you have understood all the concepts. Now if you have any doubt, any queries anywhere in this video, please let me know by giving a comment in the comment section. I'll surely give you reply on that. Now if you found this video as informative, you can share it with your friends as well. So slowly we will learn about all the symbols those are there in regular expression, and at the end you can write a very complex regular expression by own. In the next video we will talk about this challenge first, and we will see few more symbols with examples. Okay then, thanks for watching. Take care. Tata. Bye bye.